Hello friends, it's me Cassandra from Mobile Om Yoga, and I'm so excited to have you here for this virtual yoga practice brought to you from the San Pedro Creek Culture Park. I'm here in front of this beautiful mural behind me by a local artist named Adriana Garcia, and the title for this mural is De Todos Caminos, Somos Todos Unos, which translates to from all roads, we are all one. This piece was commissioned by the San Antonio River Authority, who have built this amazing park along San Pedro Creek that you can enjoy on a bike, on a walk, or on a jog, because they've built this entire trail with these little cultural and art portals along the way. So if you haven't ever been here before, I invite you to get outdoors and to enjoy some art, some culture here along the San Pedro Creek. This particular location, I'm right here on the northwest side of downtown, and you can find this right before you get up to the Highway 35 interchange. So thank you so much again for tuning in this Monday evening. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so grateful for our sponsors at the San Antonio River Authority, not only for creating the space, but for allowing us to continue these free yoga classes and bringing them to you so that you can practice safely from the comfort of your own home. So thank you so much again from wherever you are unrolling your mat, and I am so happy to have you here. Today we are going to slow things down. It's been a bit hot outside, so we're going to come into a little more of a cooling practice, a more yen style practice. So if you have a blanket or even a towel handy, then it will be useful for this practice to kind of help bring that softness in. And we're going to begin by, I'm going to use the blanket for my knees. We're going to begin at the back of your mat in a child's pose. So bringing those knees nice and wide as the sit bones come back onto your heels, and then bowing yourself down to the mat, forehead coming to touch the earth. Just allow your elbows to relax, start to soften your heart and chest down towards the earth. Eyelids may soften close as you really bring your awareness into your physical container, this body on your mats, connecting to your breath. Big, full, long, deep breaths in and out through the nose. For this yin style practice, we will use this slow, steady breath throughout the entire practice. It becomes a barometer to help us listen a little closer, recognizing moments when we're perhaps holding our breath, recognizing what else we might be holding on to. Taking just a few more of these long, full, deep breaths as you exhale and surrender a little deeper to this moment, to this choice that you've made to be here now. Let's take one more full, deep inhale. And a long, steady exhale. And with your next inhale, begin to lift up. We're going to find ourselves in a tabletop, bringing the wrist right underneath your shoulders. Knees come a little narrower so they're right underneath the hips. And on the inhale, we'll drop the belly, begin to arch the spine, really focusing our attention on this heart space. As you push the heart forward with the inhale, and then with your exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, round out, and pay attention to the back of your heart space, that you're pressing it up. Inhale again, belly drops and lift. And exhale, tuck the chin and round. A few more of these breaths, really focusing on that heart space. Today's practice, we're going to be focusing on opening the heart. I figured what better theme to have for such an amazing, inspirational piece that inspires us to move from ourselves, our self-centric mindset, into this sense of community or connection. That through all our differences, through all our different roads, we are all one. Taking one last breath through your cat-cow here. And then finding yourself in a neutral tabletop. So you're going to keep your shins planted just like they are. And we're going to walk the hands forward, begin to find puppy pose. So similar to our child's pose, the forehead's going to come to the ground. Try to keep an awareness of grounding through the knees and shins. So you'll already notice a much deeper stretch in the tops of the shoulders, maybe the armpits and across the chest and heart. If you need less at any moment, you can bend one of your elbows and allow the forehead to lift onto the forearm, maybe both elbows. And as we hold this pose, we bring in a little more of that yin energy. And yin, this posture is called heart melting pose. I like the imagery that my heart is trying to melt down towards the ground with each exhale. Taking one more of those big, full, rounded breaths here. In through the nose and emptying out. And then begin to press back into the hands as you lift the forehead. Walk your hands back into a tabletop pose. With your next inhale, you're going to start to reach your right arm up and open towards the sky. Really stretch it up high, feeling the opening across the chest and heart. Let's take one more inhale here. And with your exhale, we're going to thread the needle. So you're threading that right arm under, and you're bending forward to bring the right shoulder and the right side of your head to rest on the mat. You can leave the left hand where it is as you root down to help open up into a twist here. Another option is to elongate that left arm forward towards the front of your mat. Maybe you take it into a bind around the back. Just see what feels good for you. Keep checking into your breath. Root back into the shins and the tops of the feet. Each exhale, you unwind perhaps a little bit deeper. Let's take one more full round of breath in here. And exhale it out. If you took a bind or an extension with the left arm, bring it back onto the earth. You're going to root through the left hand. Inhale, begin to yawn up and open. Through that right arm. And then settle the right palm down to the ground. Coming straight to the other side as you inhale, lift and open up through that left arm. Stay here for the exhale. Use another inhale to reach up and open through the chest a little further. And then we're going to thread the needle on this side, coming underneath, onto that left ear, left side of the head, left shoulder. The right palm can stay here, rolling back the right shoulder. You can extend it out long. Or perhaps you reach it around, finding a bind here. Remember, your breath is your greatest source of wisdom for what to do. Listen to that subtle sensation and notice, do you need to take more, take less? Let's take one more breath in together. And exhale to empty it out. And slowly begin to unwind or bring that right hand back to under the shoulder. As you inhale, pressing into that right hand, lift and open up through the left arm. And then finding your way down into a tabletop pose. So let's take a cat-cow just to reset here. Inhale the belly, really reaching through the heart. And exhale, press and round it out. And then inhale into a neutral spine. We're just going to begin to walk yourself forward and come all the way to lying down on your belly. And then we're going to set ourselves up for Sphinx pose. So I'm going to move my blanket so it's ready at the top of my mat. And I'll start by just stacking the forearms. And you want the elbows right underneath the shoulders. So maybe even a little bit further forward so that instead of rounding the shoulders forward, we're kind of tipping them back, finding that nice open space in the chest. Each inhale, you're really pushing the heart through the frame of the collarbones, through the frame of the shoulders, settling the shoulder blades back. Take a moment and root down through the tops of your feet. Take a moment to draw the lower navel in. So that's going to help you to keep your lower back protected here. Roll the shoulders back. Keep drawing the lower belly in slightly. And then begin to lift your chin up towards the sky. Just as much as is comfortable for you. Take a couple breaths, feeling the stretch from the chin all the way down to the navel. One more breath here. And then with your exhale, begin to allow your chin to fall down toward your chest. So as the chin comes down, try to avoid rolling those shoulders forward. Continue to let them push back, down. And maybe you gently move your chin from side to side, just letting gravity take over. Noticing any tension or tightness in the neck. Release your teeth, your back molars, so your jaws are relaxed. See if that helps you to find a little more softness here. Stay here for a few more breaths. If you want to try a little deeper, we're going to press up into seal pose. So you turn your palms open about 45 degrees. Start to press into the hands, lift the elbows off. So again, this is optional because we get pretty deep. You'll feel a little compression in the lower back. Try to focus on keeping those shoulders down and a little bit of engagement through the navel. So you can do this keeping your gaze forward, the back of the neck nice and long, or again, maybe letting the head go, succumb to gravity as you continue to push those shoulders back and down. Last few breaths in and out here. At any time, if you've lifted the elbows, you can always set them back down if you're struggling. Let's take one more breath. And then with your exhale, go ahead and lower the elbows. We're going to cross your forearms and bring your forehead to the mat. Just finding a few moments here in a neutral spine. And then you're going to release your hands. Turn over onto your right ear and extend your right arm straight out beside you, palm facing down. You're going to bring the left hand underneath your left shoulder. You're going to start to roll over onto your right shoulder. So you should already start to feel the stretch through the right shoulder and the chest. You can stay here. To deepen, you can bend your left knee or that top knee. Start to turn it up towards the sky and set the foot on the outside of your leg. And so taking a moment here to first catch up with your breath. Our purpose in each posture is to pause and contain ourselves. See what's going on within our own container. You can deepen by pressing into the left palm, or maybe reaching around for a bind here, bringing the left hand around the lower back. Wherever you are, just take a moment to surrender to the sensation of that breath. Whatever other sensations you're experiencing, let them be whatever they are without pushing against or struggling. Just a few more breaths here, in and out. We'll begin to slowly come back onto the belly. Taking your time. Take that left arm straight out to the left side. You can come onto your left ear and just take a couple breaths here. And we're going to repeat this on the other side. You'll start to bend the right hand underneath your shoulder. You press into the right hand, start to roll onto that left shoulder. So you can keep the feet together, you're just rolling onto the side, or to deepen, you bend the right knee, set the right foot on the ground, using that right hand as a brace. Close your eyes and breathe in. Just breathe into whatever you're experiencing here. And take a bind if you did on the other side, or want to try something new, see what that feels like. And just a couple more breaths on this side. And go ahead and release and come all the way back onto your belly. Hands come underneath the shoulders. We're going to press up and back into a child's pose. Keep the knees more narrow this time. Just a moment to feel the lower back stretch. And go ahead and lift yourself into tabletop. So here we're going to find a hero's pose. So if you have any tightness in the hips or any kind of sensation in the knees, I'll show you a way to use a blanket. You can kind of create a little roll here. Bring it in between so you're sitting on it. But a hero's pose is where we're sitting with our hips on our heels. If at any point this is too much in the knees, you can just take a seated pose or continue to lift your hips up until it feels comfortable with a blanket or a pillow or whatever you've got kind of prop-wise. So take a moment just sitting here. Hands can be down on your thighs, shoulders rolling back and down, the heart lifting up, crown lifting up. Close your eyes if you haven't already and just come into your container here. Finding that long, deep breath. Gentle engagement in your low belly, helping to support you in a nice tall spine as you lift through the crown, rolling those shoulders back and down. This can be a place that you stay, that you're just working on engaging with this nice, tall, open heart. If you want to go deeper into the heart opening sensation, we'll start to recline this hero back. So hands can come back. This is our first step. Trying not to cave in the chest, but keep it lifted. And then you can go deeper by coming onto the forearms. And if you don't have anything underneath your hips, you may be able to lie all the way back, but it's pretty intense on the knees, so there's no need to go that far until you feel your sensation, maybe even letting the head fall. And just taking a few moments to surrender to your breath here. Wherever you've come, slowly start to bring yourself back upright, finding your way back into your seated hero pose. Remove whatever you have under your hips, if anything, and then take yourself all the way around so that your feet are in front of you. Take a moment, it can be intense to sit on your feet, to kind of roll your feet out and around. And then when you're ready, we're going to begin to lower yourself all the way down onto your back to the ground. So all the way down, back to the ground. All right, walk your feet in towards your heels. I'm going to take a few breaths to warm up into our bridge pose, and then we're going to hold our bridge. So if you have your blanket nearby, you may want to use that in a moment, so make sure you can grab it here. So first we'll take 3 breaths. Inhale to press to the feet and lift your hips, getting nice and tall from the lower back all the way up through the heart. Exhale like a wave, lower your hips all the way back down. 2 more. Inhale, press through the feet, waving all the way up. And exhale, curl down. All right, this next time you're going to inhale, wave it up, and you have an option to stay up just like this, a little more active. If you're able to bend your hands, you can bring your hands under the low back. Or another resting place is to take a pillow or a blanket or a block and take a more passive version, letting your low back rest here. So wherever you are, we're going to take about 10 of your biggest, longest, deepest breaths. So counting on your own, I'll keep counts of my own. We'll end about the same place. And you can fluctuate. If you're lifted and you get halfway through and you're struggling through those breaths, give yourself a little break. If you need a more challenge, perhaps press yourself up. Just a few more breaths. Two more. And then lower your hips. If you have any kind of blanket or prop there, remove it out of the way. Let your hips come all the way down towards the mat. Allow your knees to windshield wipe from one side to the other. And then pausing in the middle. Let your inner thighs come together, feet as wide as your mat. You'll bring your right hand onto the belly, left hand up somewhere near your heart or the upper chest. Come back into the flow of that long, deep breath here. Allowing each inhale to fully dilate through the container of your skin. Each exhale to release so that you feel at ease. One more breath here. Begin to release your hands and draw the knees up to meet your chest. Rock from side to side, giving your low back a little massage. And then keeping your knees in close. We'll open the arms up. You can open them nice and wide, or maybe cactus open your arms. You're going to let your knees fall all the way over to the left side. So we fall to the left. That may cause that right shoulder to pop up. That's okay. You can kind of rearrange yourself, or just imagine that right shoulder getting heavy. Gaze can be straight up or over that right shoulder. And then perhaps you give yourself an assist. You can take your left hand onto that right knee or the right thigh, just kind of anchoring it down to feel a little more. And create that long, deep breath in and out. Your next inhale, move your knees up and through center. We'll just switch them over to the other side, letting them fall over to the right. Settling your gaze to the sky or to the left. Maybe reaching the right hand to anchor down or assist that left thigh. And then long, full, deep breaths. And then go ahead and release your bind. If you have it, bring your knees back to center, recenter your hips. Give your knees a squeeze in towards your chest, nose up towards your knees, hug in really deep. And then as you exhale, release the head, release your legs, extend them out, finding a nice open Shavasana space. You can roll your shoulders towards one another, creating a little cushion for that open heart. Let the feet roll out, eyelids close, and just connect back to that long, full, deep breath. If your mind needs an anchor, just remind yourself to stay present to each breath. As you inhale, you can repeat, I am breathing in. And as you exhale, I am breathing out. We work on opening up our hearts. We're working with the element of air. So we directly impact our heart space by deepening the flow of our breath. Just a few more precious moments here. Each breath comes and goes without effort, but with full awareness. And begin to bring the breath in a little bit deeper, Maybe opening your mouth to exhale. Start to wake up your fingers and wake up your toes. Rolling out your wrists, rolling out your ankles. We'll make our way into a full body stretch, extending the arms overhead, extending the feet long in opposite directions, stretching it all out, waking yourself up. And then as you exhale, bring the knees in towards your chest and pause here. You can rock out anything you feel in that lower back. And then you're going to make your way to seated, either rolling over to one side or maybe rocking your way up. But take a moment and then slowly find your way into a seated space. You may bring your blanket over and elevate your hips just a bit if you like that sort of thing. Allowing yourself a moment to arrive back. Remind yourself of why you showed up today. Take the palms of your hands together. Weave them like a basket. So if you need to open your eyes, you can gaze at me. Weave them together and allow the palms to come across the chest, the center of your chest. So take a few of those really big, full breaths, focusing on lifting that air up into the palms, lifting up into that heart space. This mudra is our mudra for unshakable trust. We begin to pay more attention to ourselves, to trust that voice that lives within ourselves, that voice that brought you to your mat. This is how we open our hearts to the space of connection, connecting with others. So that whatever unique journeys brought us here, from all roads, we are all one. We are all here with the intention of bringing this positivity, this love, this spirit into our lives. Take one more breath here. And fully release it out. And then bring the palms together to seal that warmth, that open-heartedness into our salutation mudra, our salutation seal. We're going to close our practice in community with our vibration of Om. So you can either listen or choose to participate. We'll inhale through the nose, exhale it out, and then inhale for the sound of Om. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale for Om. Acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge this virtual community. Taking your thumbs to your third eye, where we acknowledge that deep voice within, that voice of wisdom and the light to guide our way forward. From the light in me, I recognize the light in each of you. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.